Whew. Weird. This is really weird. Alright, so I just got done first session in the GT350 and I hate it. There's very little I like about it. Where do I start? I hate the traction control. The ABS is weird. Having a car with this many like nannies is just very, very strange. I don't like it one bit. So Kelly asked me, what do I actually like about the car? And I said, right now, I said, well, it's new. So I don't know if something was weird. You all right over there? Where this car has got like an extra 150 horsepower over my other car. Coming out of a turn, if you kind of give it a little bit too much too quick, it like fights you and wants to like correct the car, I guess, but which I'm not used to. It's like I'll be able to catch it, and then I feel it catch the car, and then I kind of like fight against what the car is trying to do. It's very weird. I gotta figure out how to like completely disable it. That's how much I don't like it. What else? And then I don't know if that carries into the straightaway. Like it felt like it was like down on power, down a cylinder, something was just weird. But if I would just like roll out of a corner real nice and easy and then hit it, it felt like it had good power, I guess. I don't know. I just got to get used to it, I guess, or just make it better, because yeah, it wasn't very enjoyable. The seat, I hate the seat. I'll have a set of factory cars for sale soon, because I want to do like a full race seat. No idea who that guy is. Anyways, I forget what I was talking about. Otherwise, the car, like, no smoke, oil pressure was good. It sounded good when it wasn't doing that like misfire or pull power thing. I still don't know what's going on. So yeah, I guess only racing one car for 11 years and you hop into something new. It's just everything about it's just going to be weird. So I just did session 2. As you saw, I had a big spin up through turn 10. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It may catch it on camera. Like going down, I think it was on the back straight. It said service advanced track control or something at some point. I noticed the ABS light came on, but it just stayed on. I don't know how much of the session I'm gonna put in the video, but if I was going into like kind of like a slower turn, I would just jam the brakes and you would feel it lock up. The ABS definitely was not working. Maybe that's the whole traction control issue. Maybe I'm like already kind of used to the nannies, and that's why up over turn 10, like I wasn't even going that fast. It was on a kind of like a cool outlap. Ended up spinning. So I really don't like this thing, and I feel bad saying that, but I think it's a combination of me not being used to it and the electronics on the car. Just, I don't know what's going on. I might just yank all of it because that's what I'm used to. I might try and fix it, but I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of time and a hassle, and then in the future it ends up not working when you expect it to work as well. I don't know. I'm kind of like it. I don't really know what else to say. I just kind of had higher hopes for this car, and it just sucks. The other issue was having, there was definitely a misfire, because if it wasn't misfiring, I would definitely have to hit 5th gear on the front straight and the back straight. But if it was misfiring, it wouldn't even make it out of 4th gear. So that was annoying as well, because like people are giving me point buys, and it's like I can't pass you because I'm, you know, the car's down however much horsepower. So gotta figure that out too. I don't know. I might be done for the day. I don't even know if it's worth going out this afternoon. I'm just kind of not enjoying this. Alright, so we're sitting here thinking if we should still make a day out of the day. We got the grill. We got some cheddar wurst we can grill up and everything. And earlier Kelly asked me, or noticed that I forgot ketchup and mustard. And then we're sitting here, we're like, yeah, it's getting close to grill. And what'd you ask me?
Where are the rolls?
So I forgot to pack the rolls. So we literally just have hot dogs. So we're gonna end the day. I just went back and watched my spin a couple of times, and you can go back in the video and watch it. Like even before I hit the apex, like I'm going slow, and you could just like the back end just steps out. It was so strange. So yeah, I've obviously had much better days. I actually don't think I've had much worse days at the track than this. So not giving up on the car. Still good chassis. Just, man, these electrical things in cars nowadays, I'm really leaning towards like yanking a lot of the nannies out permanently. So if you want to see that, subscribe. But yeah, we're still going to use it to develop some parts. Got another track day in I think about 6 weeks. So hopefully I can figure out the misfire issue by then, and then come up with some sort of plan for the whole traction control ABS issue. Alright, so it's the next day. Got this thing back in the shop. I was able to pull some codes off of it. We got a P0300, which is a random misfire, a 305 and 308, which is cylinder 5 and cylinder 8 misfire. Haven't done anything to diagnose it yet. You can swap the coils or just move coils, see if the misfire follows the coil, then you know it's the coil. I'll check plugs while I'm in there. So that's kind of the, I knew it was down on power. I knew it was like something was weird. So that answers that question. The whole traction control stuff, doing a whole bunch of reading, got a couple ideas. The one thing I did look at was with the AIM Solo DL in this car, it gives me individual wheel speed sensors. Since the car itself looks at the wheel speeds for the ABS and traction control and all that stuff, pretty easy, bring them up. The right rear wheel sensor, it was working up until some point in one lap. It just flatlined at like 244 miles an hour or something like that. So there's an issue there. All right, so I'm gonna interject this in the video here. You can see I pulled up my data from my AIM Solo. So here's my AIM Solo that I use. I got the DL. The DL uses one of these plugs to hook to the OBD 2 port of the car and give you a whole bunch of other measurements over here. We'll get into that in a little bit, but if you don't have one of these, I'll put a link to one of these in the video description below. These things are awesome. So here we have a handful of laps. That 220 was my best of the day up here, which is light blue, a 22, which is red at the moment. Orange, that 335, I believe that was my in-lap when the ABS started acting up or something. And then my out-lap, which is when I spun. So right now I want to try and figure out, why did I spin? Was it me or was it the car or both? So you can see the green, I was just taking it easy. This is up the S's right here. So if I put the cursor in the middle and hit the GPS, you know, so here's turn 1 coming around, I'm sorry, like kind of the back straight headed into the S's, just kind of taking it easy. So if you go back and watch the video, you see a car was kind of coming up on me pretty quick. So I did kind of want to go sort of quicker, didn't want to mess him up too bad, but you can see how I was off the gas and going into turn 10. So if we put the cursor right here, go to the GPS, and you can actually see the green line. So there's my spin. That's where I ended up going. Obviously the track is out here where the orange is. I was much slower. I can roll the mouse forward and zoom in, and I was quite a bit slower than the orange and the blue, tiny bit quicker than the red. So this is kind of telling me, you know, yeah, I was much slower, but that doesn't tell me if I jerked the steering wheel or, you know, braked, you know, stabbed the brakes or something. We can watch the video and tell I didn't really stab the brakes. One of the cool things about the Solo is you can go down to lateral accelerations, and the green, you can see, so right here where the green really trails off is when, you know, I really started to spin, and that's why the G forces end up going to the other side. So this below the 0 line would be a left-hand turn, so I'm coming up the S's. You know, the G forces aren't really anything greater than what the car was doing, so it's not like I yanked the steering wheel or anything. You know, since the speed was up right here, did I stab on the throttle or something? So this car has a, where is it? Pedal position sensor. So my pedal position makes sense that I kind of gave it a little more gas right here, but where I let off the gas, and you can see I was completely off the gas here, I didn't start spinning, you know, till all the way out here. An extra, if we look all the way up in the right, we can do a delta from kind of when I got off the gas to around about where the spin started, another 500 feet later. So it's not like I like stabbed the gas and made the rear end step out. So this kind of all leads me to believe that the spin was just, I don't know, something was up with the car. So now what I want to look at, let's get rid of the pedal and the lateral acceleration. Since the ABS and traction control was locking up, I can look at the ECU wheel speed sensors. So here's front left, you know, kind of matches GPS speed, matches wheel speed. So let's go to front right. So they all look about the same so far. Let's bring in rear left. It should look about the same, and it does. And then let's bring in right rear. All right, what happened here? We have this trace, looks good with the blues on all the other ones, but then look at the green. It's way up here at, if we look over here, 244.3 mile an hour. So now it's pretty easy to tell a lot of the ABS and traction control issues, if not all of them, are because this right rear wheel speed sensor isn't getting a proper reading at this point. And it also makes sense because that 220 lap, I believe, is when it started getting a little funky on me. Let's go to a 1-lap zoom. And yeah, look at that. At the end of the back straight, I made a note of it in the video. Let's go to the GPS so you can see where we're at. So down the back straight, heading into, I believe that's called Hartman back here, which is right when the dashboard flashed with that service advanced track message. And look, it just spikes up to 244 miles an hour and then just, stops working. Why it stopped working, I'm not sure. So I got to look into that. But that's, another great advantage of one of these is sometimes some of the things it gives you, can kind of just help you diagnose your issue right there. So I think it was all kind of interrelated. But yeah, can't say enough good things about like the Solo, DL, or any of the AIM products really. The other thing I learned about is the Have Fun at the Track plug, which is next to the airbox. This little plug right here. See how it just kind of dead ends in this pigtail, and that's it. Apparently, just unplugging that, you need to do that when you put the car on the dyno, or when you're on track. It gets rid of any traction control stuff, but keeps the ABS rather than pulling the ABS fuse. Apparently, that's an option. Another thing I'm looking at is the scan. Unfortunately, what I'm using to scan codes at the moment is one of these things, which is, it gives you, the codes while the light's on. You can like reset the light, but that's really about it. It doesn't let me look into like any of the other body control modules or any of the stuff these new cars have on it. So because of that, I came across a thing called scan. It seems pretty good. Basically, it's kind of like a dealership level diagnostics tool, basically. It seems like all I need to do is get the cable that hooks up to the OBD2 port, plug it into my computer, or they make Bluetooth ones and you can do an app on your phone. This is kind of new to me, so if you have scan or something that allows you to look into all the, control modules, computer, all that stuff on this car, please comment below because I'm kind of open to options right now for that, but that's what I'm looking at. I actually used to be Master Tech certified back in 2000, I think my license ran out in like 2012 or something like that. So these newer cars are a little bit fancier than what I used to work on. Gonna jog my memory on a lot of stuff. I believe Shop Key was the one. Shilton's, was it? I forget. But we had those kind of like databases where you can say, all right, the car threw me this code, and it kind of gives you some information. So I think that will be kind of a good thing to get for this, since this car is, much more connected than this thing. So that'll be something worth looking into. So anyway, so the car itself, it's like, even as frustrating as it was yesterday, it's kind of doing, in a weird way, I'm almost glad it did it, because it's forcing me to look into this thing at a level that I wouldn't if it worked correctly, which in the future knowledge I think is better than not having it in a weird way. So that's where I'm going to close this one out. The track day video is just kind of the track day video on the few things I discovered. Looking into it real quick, I think kind of figuring out the misfire and the wheel speed sensor probably be like another video. So anyways, I hope you kind of learned something. I know this video wasn't that exciting. I know I learned a ton. So if you want to see me keep developing this car, figuring out stuff, what I end up doing with it, got big plans for it obviously, hit that subscribe button. As always guys, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.